Hello and welcome to the African Diaspora channel in collaboration with CRBC. And today we are going to be looking at projecting Cross River State investment potential on the global stage. And joining us to have this conversation is the Chairman, Cross River State Diaspora Commission, Okor Chief Otu Okor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, you look so dashing.
We're talking about diaspora here, so it was projected.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I love to make my guests feel very comfortable. Let's not forget this is a podcast, okay? So I would like to ask, tea or coffee?
I think I'll prefer tea.
Tea? So, why tea? Why?
If I take coffee now, I'll be dizzy. So I have to stay awake for this podcast right now.
Okay, so you're attributing it to the podcast. You have to stay awake for the podcast. Okay, I agree. You win. Okay, Otu, let's look at the Cross River State Diaspora Commission. Now, I think that in the whole of Nigeria, Cross River State is one state that is always, like, I'll put it 10 steps ahead, of other states. Now, we are one of the first that is having a diaspora commission in the state. How did all of this happen and what was the idea behind it? Okay,
first and foremost, I will pay tribute to His Excellency, Senator Prince Bassey Otu, the Governor of Cross River State, for the vision of establishing Cross River State Diaspora Commission. We're the first in the country, like you said, to have a diaspora commission modeled after Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. And just last year, October, we hosted 36 states and FCT in what we call State Focal Point Diaspora Summit. And we're also the first state to do that. So it's a big thing for us. It has created diaspora visibility for us. It has made us project Cross River State out there in the world map. And everyone now wants to model what we do here. I have a lot of calls from my colleagues, other states. Some are ACs on diaspora. Some have agencies that are trying now to translate to a commission. So we're more like a consultant when it comes to State Diaspora Commission. So it's a big thing for us, and we're glad.
Okay, so let's look at, this program now. How do you feel, having a program dedicated and aiming at showcasing the polity trust of Cross River State and the investment opportunities therein?
Yeah, because we have a lot of investment or potentials in Cross River State. I always like making references. Just last year, November, precisely on the 13th of November, we had what we call a Cross River State Diaspora Investment Summit, which was hosted in London. And in that summit, we had the King of Edinburgh who attended the summit. And also we looked at we projected Cross River State out there. When I was making my speech and other of my commissioners, a lot of investors were shocked. They said, do we have this in Africa? They now look at Africa first, Nigeria second, and Cross River State, So when we x-ray the investment potentials, like the things we have in Cross River State, where they can come in, they were so excited and they said, this has been hidden. They are not aware that we have such in Africa, in Nigeria and Cross River State. And that alone has also driven another aspect of investors, diaspora investors, to Cross River State, which very soon we'll have that concluded.
Okay, fantastic. Now, let's not also forget that this platform streams to a very wide, number of people. So how do you think that your office and diasporans can take advantage of this program, a program of this sort?
Yeah, immediately I got this call. I had to reach out to, we have a global platform where Cross-Riverians in diaspora organization, they come together, whether you're from Bakassi, Obanliko, wherever you are, as far as you're outside the shores of this country, they have a big umbrella where they sit together as an organization. So I reached out to the president and he was so excited. That was why I asked how they can join, because they're also willing and also looking up to this. And I also discussed with Mr. Friday Agada. He's also it's a global media expert about how we can also transport what we have in Cross River State out there, through media, through broadcast, through so many means, so that those outside can know. Even a lot of Cross Riverians doesn't know what is happening in Cross River State, but we try to make sure we connect, we become that bridge that also sell what we have in Cross River State to them. So it is a big platform for us, and we're excited that we're here.
Okay, so when you talk about selling what we have in Cross River State to those in diaspora, what product is it? Exactly that you're selling to these people? Okay,
in terms of agriculture, we have we look at the crops. You have cocoa, we have a lot of palm oil, that's also a big product. And you go to livestock, we are trying to, there's a diaspora that is also trying to set up a chicken factory. We had Kalachika before now, and we're seeing how we can revive it. And also looking at Tinapa, we have also a diaspora that it's very much interested in the film village of Tinapa, and we're still discussing that. All that are in the pipeline. Then we also have another diaspora that is thinking of doing waste to energy. He sent in a proposal, his expression of interest, and had discussed with the stakeholders involved, and also see how we can also bring that in. So there are a lot of opportunities. In Cross River State, and we're selling them out there.
Okay, so let's talk about synergies here. The Cross River State Diaspora Commission, with the National Diaspora Commission that has Abike Dabiri as head, what's the synergy between the state and the federal? I know that sometime last year we hosted Abike Dabiri here, courtesy of you. Yeah. But what's the synergy in helping Cross Riverians in diaspora?
Synergy is very cordial. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be part of a delegation that went to Turkey just recently with the president, but I had visa issues, so I couldn't travel. So she's very particular about Cross River State. I'm one of her products. I've worked with her before coming down here. So she's very particular about what we do here. And she told me that whenever she's going out, the delegation will be part of the team, because she want to gather Cross-Riverians. In most countries, they don't have that organization. She wants to see how, apart from gathering Nigerians, also segment it to Cross-Riverians. Now, we had some Cross-Riverians in the east, eastern part of the country, where, we're not just looking at, we're not limiting ourselves to those outside the country. We're also particular about Cross-Riverians in Nigeria. Okay. It's a state diaspora commission, and a state diaspora has to do with territorial boundaries. So once you leave the territorial boundary of Cross River State, you're a diasporan.
Exactly.
So we're not limiting ourselves, because we have some Cross Riverians in Lagos that are into big businesses, and they want to replicate that in Cross River State. So we're also discussing with them. In the eastern part of the country, we had also some Cross Riverians that are also into big businesses, and they want to also replicate that in Cross River State. So we're not limiting ourselves to those outside the country, but also considering, very importantly, those within Nigeria.
Fantastic. Yeah. Now, dragging those within Nigeria to come and do business here, would you say that you have recorded any success story in terms of investment?
Yeah. We have. We're more or less 7 months into existence. We just came, we're a baby that will crawl very fast, and we're running very fast. So far, so good. We'll be able to trickle in 1 or 2 investment that we're very sure any moment from now it will be recorded. That we're very sure. We're working on that. Recently, I had a meeting with Dr. Bogduke about 2 investors that have sent in their expression of interest, and we're working on that. So hopefully that will be concluded.
Okay, fantastic. Hopefully that will be concluded. But I love to, take questions from people. Okay, so I'm going to read this particular question to you because it was sent to me by someone that is interested in the conversation that we are having today. So it says, are there synergies between your office and other MDAs with respect to understanding their policies and business opportunities, which will allow diasporans to key in and invest in Cross River State, be it in tourism, in agriculture, in mining, health, development, sports education, and what have you?
Okay, so MDA is talking about MDAs in Cross River State.
Of course, yes.
Okay, fine,
MDAs
fantastic.
The synergy between your commission and MDAs in
the synergies are there. When we came on board newly, we visited so many MDAs. We had meetings with a lot of commissioners, and one of those were our hosting of diasporans from the Caribbean. And when we had that meeting, we had an expanded committee that involved a lot of MDAs, agri, education, mineral. A lot of MDAs came together, even security, because we couldn't do it alone. Bringing 96 diasporans across River State will involve a whole lot. So it was not just us as a commission, but we involve other MDAs. So we have that strong synergy with other MDAs, especially if we have, like when we had symposium on renewable energy, we had a diaspora that came in all the way from United States, to train energy experts on renewable energy. We involved Ministry of Power. Eka Williams was part of the thing, although he was not present, but I involved him. I informed him about it because that's one of the good things about it. We are not overlapping in any way, but we're also synergizing with other MDAs to make sure, like tourism. When we brought in the diaspora, tourism bureau was at the forefront because we bring them in and we hand them over to tourism. Tourism now shows them places around Cross River State, and they were very cool here and were doing businesses here. So even at when we also brought Ministry of Commerce in, their sense is the diasporans are not after going to spa to shop. They're after artifacts, our made in Nigeria products. So we brought in Ministry of Commerce. Number one market woman was present with us, even when we did our business and investment forum. She was there. She had display exhibition of products, and they were so excited to see our beaded shoes, our beaded bags, our fabrics and all that. And they did a lot of shopping. So that was a big one for us too.
Okay, fantastic. Let's look at, talking about, ministries now. Let's look at which product, investment product would you say is a soft sell for those in diaspora?
I would say it will be Ministry of Mineral Resources.
Okay, it's a soft sell?
Yeah, it will be mineral resources in the sense that it expanded. We'll have a lot of mineral resources here. It is soft sell for us. Also, agri too is also a soft sell for us because recently we had a cross-River diaspora organization came in all the way from US and Europe, to do to invest in farming. They gave farmers in Okor local government area about 152 farmers a takeoff grant, to add to their farming, and that was also a good one for us because we've been able to connect with those in diaspora and bring them to those are communities that need what they should help them with. So it was also a big one for us. So for agriculture, it's a soft sell for us. Then also, we're thinking of doing exchange program. When we brought those diasporans, there's a particular principal of a school in Jamaica. He's after exchange programs where they take some Cross-Riverians here to Jamaica to school and bring some Jamaicans here in Cross River State to school. So that also is in the pipeline. So education also is a simple and it's soft sell for us. Yeah.
Okay, so would you put these three that you have mentioned, mineral resources, agriculture, and education, would you put those three above tourism?
Yeah, will I say I forgot? No, I wouldn't because tourism too is a big one for us. Tourism is very large. From culture and all that, it's very large. So I would say tourism is number one, sincerely, is number one. But the angle we've really been driving is agriculture, mineral, and education. But not forgetting tourism. Tourism is a big one for us too.
Because when you talked about, those that you had brought in, synergizing with the Ministry of Commerce now, in terms of artifacts, that for me, that's tourism. That's selling our culture. That's selling
True.
our traditions. So I think that we should rather invest more in that aspect. Let people begin to create things that represent us, that help us tell our stories. That's why I said, would you put those three ministries before
I wouldn't.
tourism? Okay, so let's come back to tourism now. In December, for the very first time, we had a diaspora band. Okay, now what's the idea behind creating a band, just for those in diaspora? And how would you say that it had, what impact would you say this had?
Economic impact, as far as I'm concerned, is economic impact. Last year was the first time we did that, and it was like a test run for us.
Okay.
So we've seen our limitations, we've seen our mistakes, and we're going to build on that. The essence why we really had that ban is to drive diasporans back to Cross River State. I remember when we started the planning, it was so capital intensive, because we're supposed to have, like I said, we're supposed to have 66 steel band members from the Caribbean.
Okay.
And the good thing is we're so excited that Airpeace were willing to lift them from there to Lagos State, which was also a big one for us. And the cost would have been limited. So, but visa issues, did not allow that scale through. So for tourism aspect of it, for carnival aspect of it, we did floated a diaspora ban. And before now, most people that come in from Europe, from Asia, to Cross River State, they always watch carnival on the sidelines, take pictures and all that. So, but they felt this time around, we want to be part. We want to dance on the streets of Calabar. We want to be part of the carnival. Hence why we floated that diaspora ban. And it got us joy. We were so excited because we brought it. Abike came down. She was billed to be in US a day before the carnival, but she canceled that trip and make sure she was part of the carnival band. And she's a band leader. The essence why we made her the band leader, she has a wider reach. Now we're not limiting the diaspora band to only Cross Riverians. We're taking it over to all the diasporans, whether you're from Cross River, whether from Nigeria, whether from Africa, whether from any part of the world you're from, come and be part of the diaspora band. And we shared our website up, we shared our link. We had a lot of people registered, but I think it's still visa issues that limited a lot. But it had a lot also came in during.
Okay, so let me come in there. You've spoken about visa issues, for like 3 consecutive times now. So which means that it's a serious issue.
Yeah, it is.
What is the visa issue, and how are you going headlong in terms of changing the narrative? Okay,
before now in Nigeria we used to have visa on arrival, but that policy changed just first of either October or thereabout. So, but at my office level, we have an immigration officer posted to us as a desk officer in our commission. So that now has been handed over to them. They're working on that. So all what they want is more time so that they can start working on, like now we started working on visas, against October, November, December programs we're going to have. So we started working on that so that at the end of the day, that visa won't be an issue again. So even last year when we had that limited time, we couldn't procure the visas, we even reached out to the commandant of immigration, but he still couldn't do anything because the time was so short, and it gave us an issue. So some of them got their visas even after the carnival. So we now did not, couldn't also bring them because carnival was over already. But this year we're going to put that in check.
So it's just a time factor.
Yes, time factor.
Okay, fantastic. I think I'm going to ask a question I would have asked, from the beginning of this conversation. And that is for you to let Cross Riverians know exactly what the Cross River Diaspora Commission does.
Okay. We're the bridge. It's simple. We're the bridge between the government and the diaspora. So we take government programs, initiatives, policies to the diaspora. We also take their programs, their initiative and policies to the government. Okay. Now, so far so good. We'll be able to bring Cross Riverians in the diaspora together because last year we had a convention in Birmingham that we could gather all Cross Riverians, and His Excellency personally address them. Before now, they were saying some of them complain of how to reach out to government. And it was a problem for some because they didn't know who to reach out to. So, but when the commission came on board, it was simple because they could easily reach out to us and also reach out to government personally, So, His Excellency is particular about the commission and what we're doing. He has supported us in so many ways to make sure we succeed. It's not easy to start something. But we've started and we're standing strong, and it's a good one for us.
Okay. So, what would you say or describe your relationship? What's your relationship like with Cross Riverians, that are outside this country? What's your working relationship like with those people?
Cordial. We speak on daily basis. Most times, time factor, I don't sleep. Most meetings are late nights us here. Meanwhile, it's early hours for them, So we've been having a lot of meetings, town hall meetings, thinking of what we're going to do for Cross River State. Like this year, we're going to float Cross River State Diaspora Trust Fund. The essence of the trust fund is, a lot of them might not really know what to do for Cross River State, might not really know our priority areas, but they just feel, I want to support the state with $100. I want to support the state with £20 or £100. So we open a trust fund where that will be thrown into. Then at government prerogative, we can think of what to do with that. So we're going to float a diaspora trust fund this year, and they're very much particular about it, and are willing and ready to support us.
Okay, when you talk about diaspora trust fund, how would you say that, those people throwing in their $100, their €20, how do you think that they'll be able to monitor implementation with these monies?
Yeah, already a trust fund is the public-private initiative. So it's not just government alone that's going to run it. So one of them is going to be part of the team, to monitor what is being used for. Is the money coming in? If the money comes in, what are they using it for? So it's a public-private initiative. And that's why I said we're working with them and they're willing to support us. So what we do at the end of the day, we get a team from the government, we get a team from them, and we'll form that committee to drive that.
Oh, fantastic. I just wanted you to iron that out so everyone knows that there will be some sort of accountability and transparency in terms of this trust fund that is being initiated by the Cross River State Diaspora Commission. Again, I won't leave you until we talk about the challenges that you're facing in your commission.
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges. If I say there's none, then I'm doing myself a disservice. But so far so good. We've been able to record a lot of successes that have surmounted those challenges. So they are there, and we'll surmount them at the end of the day.
You've not said anything.
No, they are there. Sincerely, challenges are there. The challenges are there.
Yeah, that's why I said. Spill it out.
That's why I said the successes have suppressed those challenges.
Okay, so which means that you don't have a challenge as it stands.
No, it comes on daily basis.
Then let's know some of the challenges.
Because like I said,
we're talking about investment here. So if you don't tell us that, okay, the commission is facing this challenge or that challenge, how will your investors, come in?
Okay, no, investors coming in. It's not through the commission. Investors are coming to invest in the state.
In the state.
Yeah.
The commission is serving the state.
Yeah, as a channel, yes.
The commission is serving the state.
Okay, say...
if the commission is handicapped, how would you perform your duties in bringing these investors? The
only challenge we had last year is, we just came on board. We didn't have a budget.
Okay.
That was the only challenge. But now we have a functional budget. We've defended and it has been approved for us. Okay. So that is no challenge for us, because as far as we have a budget to run the commission, then we don't have a problem. So we don't have a challenge as at now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's been wonderful talking to Otu Ekong Chief Otu Okor, the chairman, Cross River State Diaspora Commission. And I'm going to leave you, but not without you, saying your last word to those watching us right now.
Okay, like I always say it in so many forums, I want to speak to Cross Riverians in diaspora. And I will always say, remember, you're an ambassador of Cross River State. Wherever you are, do good. Because whatever you do will either make or mar the state. And stay safe.
All right, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time right here on the African Diaspora channel in collaboration with CRBC. We've been talking on projecting Cross River State investment potential on a global platform. My name is Janice Kobum. Until I see you again, keep being you. Thank you very much.